Where the funk have I been since our last episode went viral back in December with Shane Faison of Fight Tips fame? I've been on a little rocky roller coaster. I was working with a business partner who unfortunately passed away. We buried him at a beautiful ceremony, but ultimately, a year after he was shot five times, he succumbed to his injuries and passed away in his sleep. The pieces of shit up in Tennessee are going to go to jail for murder, hopefully, for a very long time. That's a story we can get into. My business partner of quite some time who got me into the insurance business, he went ahead and joined the Army Reserves. So he's been gone for the last 13, 14 weeks at this point. A great buddy of mine, Ed, Fast Eddie, and I drove up 13 hours to South Carolina to see his graduation from boot camp, but that was at least a month or two ago. Anyway, I am at my new place because in the last, I said, where the funk have I been? It's a play on words there, a little double entendre action for those listeners out there. What that is so I got separated from my ex, my children's mother. That was a choice of mine. Ultimately, I guess both of us, but we no one did anything bad, which is great. So we can, we have the integrity of, being good parents, good, people, and just wasn't for us. We got, over it, and I pulled the plug on, almost a year ago. So, but we lived together for 6 more months, basically, 7 months. And, it was nice to, kind of just go out slowly, let the kids, integrate with, what's going on, and worked out well. I'm actually very proud of us. So Olivia, great job. Parents, good parents. I won't call you my baby's mama ever or whatever. My baby's mama. No, you're my children's mother. And you know what? It's nice that we made the choice and we stuck with it, and it is what it is, So, anyway, great mom to our 3 beautiful children, and great, I'm happy to say I can still have, or have, a good-looking ex. I didn't have some woman that turned into a troll or, a slug. But anyway, that's another topic. And then, what else? Yeah, so it's been 6 months since the last episode, but we're going to start filming these. I've had tons of things on my mind, and I keep driving and thinking and writing things down, but to me, that's not taking the action necessary to, achieve my goals. If I'm going to do this, just, jump at this point. I do things slow, I guess. People say I'm impulsive, but really I think I'm pretty methodical, actually, slow and steady in a lot of the big choices. So I'm happy with the way this is going in all aspects of what we're talking about. After Corey's untimely and unfortunate passing, it's okay, baby. Unfortunately, after his passing, it's okay, puppy. He hears the neighbor's dog barking. That kind of sucked. And then, business, was difficult for a moment. I wasn't sure if we were going to shut the travel business down, but instead, we, the first week back, it was really difficult. We we just went negative, but it was okay. We got everyone together, some camaraderie, people that have worked with him for over 10 years at this point. And we got together, and it was hard, but we're glad we did, all of us. And then the following week, we wound up having an incredible memorial or a burial service, one of the coolest burials that we've ever done, because we actually dug we didn't dig the grave. We filled in the grave after we lowered him in ourselves, and we were actually complimented by the gentleman that drove him up there from Fort Myers up to Gainesville, and it was neat. It was a great compliment because he said, he's never been to a ceremony quite like this. We were laughing, we were just telling stories. It was a combination of I guess an Irish wake and I don't know, he was Jewish, so we didn't embalm him. He didn't want to be cremated, so we buried him. He had good friends around him that loved him, and we can't wait to go visit him. I like the fact that he's not in a vault. He's not in a concrete sealed, tank. He's literally in a biodegradable picnic basket that just turns back into, worms and dirt, into a tree. We planted some goldenrod seeds because he loved gold. And that was a really cool ceremony. We got to bury our friend, truly bury him, it was nice. And as sad as it could be. And then we just talked shit for an hour and a half, around when he was out. We decided when we put him in. The only other people that were there were volunteers. When we got tired of, using the shovels, they took over for us. It was really awesome. Really cool up in Gainesville. Check them out. It's I'll have to grab that. I'll put a link or something. And then what else? Juan, my business partner with our cell phone business, he, hold on, before we go into that. So business with the travel company, we're expanding now, and, in Corey's memory, we talk about them, all the time, but, we are actually growing at this point, and, we're expanding into a new era, a new market with Zoom and online presentations, and doing very well. If you're not sure what I do, we own a sales company for a travel agency that's for members only. So it's a travel concierge that has hundreds of travel agents that book the vacations for the members at the travel agent cost. So it does two things. Guarantees they pay less for all their vacations, no matter who they were using in the past. Because again, cost, you can't beat cost. We have 110% guarantee on that, and it's actually a parent company. We're just a sales organization for a much larger company. And then the other thing is the concierge. You actually have someone who speaks English, who's accountable, and who gives you the insight about where to go, what to do, how to do it. And then I have an app as well, which teaming with our company, Travel Services International. And it is NetTrips, NET-TRIPS. I'm working on that. That is expanding and growing, and we have, I can't wait to showcase The Office on another episode, but that is the inspiration. It's free. It's an app for everybody. You don't even have to be a member. There's an option if you want to join the travelers community, but really, it's free. Just go on. It's like Netflix. You get to see where you want based on what you like. If you like cruises, scroll through cruises. Oh, click this one. Because you like the Panama Canal cruise, you might like, these countries around there. This type of cruise, etc. So, and here's the places to go while you're there. Here's the places, that to eat while you're there. Here's the places that we would recommend, that locals recommend, for activities. And ask for Gary when you're over at Scooty Tours in Aruba, because, personally, these are recommendations that, are vetted and, tried and true, and it's free. It's free information. Know before you go somewhere what the best things to do if you're in a new city. Take it from someone who's traveled all over and, for work and pleasure. So that business is doing well, thankfully. That merry-go-round is spinning. It took a little while to get all the kicks to get spinning, but it's spinning now. And I just got to kick it every once in a while, but it's also growing. And then net trips, and then what else? The insurance business. The insurance business is going to be absolutely, after going to the presentation in January with 5,000 other insurance agents from all over the country, some living remote in other, parts of the world, but licensed in states in the country. They're selling insurance now online, and life insurance, that is. And there's 4 types. There's, final expense all the way up to annuities. And there's, and then there's IULs, which is Index Universal Life, and then there's term life. But ultimately, you can start and be just a peon and go all the way up. You can build a team as soon as you want. It is great money, great commissions with a tried and true path to success. You get out of it what you put into it. You're if you want to make $1,000, okay, that's 1 to 2 deals. Let's start with 1 deal. How do you get 1 deal? Well, you go on to goatleads.com or whatever lead-based company your mentor tells you, okay, because there's someone that's going to mentor you. And they say, hey, go to this lead company. Here's a bunch of leads for free from us. Call them. All of these people within the last 90 days or so have actually wrote in and said, hey, I'm interested in life insurance. I'd like to purchase because someone close to me died or whatever the reason is. This is the beneficiary I'm going to leave everything to. I'm looking for this particular amount of money from $10,000 all the way up to, $500,000. And, I was in the military or et cetera. Tell me something about themselves. My favorite sport, soccer, whatever the hell you want to say. They literally wrote these notes. And for as little as $3 or as little as free from your mentor, you just call 200 of them, okay? Call 200 of them, and of the 200, okay, 100 of them are going to just not even answer at all. Of the 100 that might answer, 70 of them aren't going to even let you get out past, the first 2 sentences, okay, of your, script. Of, what does that leave? 30 left? The 30 left that actually listen, you're going to wind up actually explaining it and getting far through your script, maybe 3/4 of the way or even all the way or somewhere, for, 10 of those 30. And of the 10 of the 30, 3 to 5 of them are going to want to try to actually qualify themselves. And of those 3 to 5 that qualify, 1 or 2 is going to wind up being qualified, or I shouldn't say qualified, but also have the money now to do it as well. That's been my experience, and I'm brand spanking new. But if I need to make $1,000, it'll cost me maybe $200 to do it, and it would take me about 4 hours to do it. I want to build a team around that, because the what changed and why this is important anyway now is because never before have you been able to sell life insurance as a broker, showcasing essentially 5 to 15 carriers that you can showcase and highlight the benefits of online from your house to their house through a Zoom presentation or over the phone, and just say, hey, bang. I already bought your information. I know who you are, who you want to leave the money to, what you're interested in. And the good news is, my job's simple, because no matter which carrier, my job, okay, they're all about the same price. You're not going to get an extra $1 million over here for, an extra $10 or there's no deal, okay? The fact is, it's all going to be about the same no matter which carrier you get it through. The benefit of using me is I don't have to waste anyone's time. You don't have to go try out and apply for 30 different carriers to get told no on 28 of them. I can tell you which ones aren't going to accept you right now, just based off of what your medical history is. You had a heart attack, we go from 30 to 15. Oh, you have diabetes, we go from 15 to 7. And these are all places that if every time you put your information into any one of these websites, you're going to get relentless phone calls from a million different people for the next 6 months. So how about we just stop that from happening, okay? One-stop shop, peace of mind, and I want to build a team around it because people are dying and everyone's going to die, whether it's soon or whether it's later. And if you've ever had to pay for a funeral, okay, they're expensive, especially for your Jewish friends who don't want to get the, 1/10 of the or 1/5 of the price to get cremated. I don't want to be cremated. I don't blame them. But again, it's nice if you had insurance so that no one else has to pay for it, right? So, at the very bare minimum, hey, we could have got that whole thing paid for as little as $23 a month. How about that? Next time, you're alive, if you're still alive and you're listening to this and you don't have life insurance, you don't have to use me. But call someone who actually is, an actual broker licensed in your state. I'm licensed in, over 20 states now. And just make sure that, hey, you just tell them what you want and you're honest with them so you don't waste anyone's time. I had one guy who told me that, he was healthy as hell. I don't know. He got denied by the last guy who called him. I'm trying to help the guy out. He's lying through his teeth to me. And I only found that out because his wife got approved for her policy. And he had to FaceTime me because he couldn't read the information I needed. And because I got him on FaceTime, he's got the mask over here because he, took it off so to talk to me with the oxygen pumping in. He's 5'4". He said he was 300, which is why he got denied by most carriers, or why the only carrier that did approve him was a little out of his budget. But I mean, he was probably pushing, a little, extra, a little extra on that. Bottom line is, just be honest. Don't waste anyone's time. Use one person. You applied, okay? Don't apply if you don't want it, or if you don't want calls either. How do you stop the calling? Buy it, okay? There you go. But anyway, you're gonna die, so you need life insurance. And when you buy a policy, don't cancel your policy because someone else might have called you a week later and said, I'll save you money. And then they just literally just applied you again and you saved $4, maybe, and you really don't know what you got because you were paying attention with me the first time. But now this time you were just looking for, this guy said he promised a huge, big difference, a better deal. Got me all the way through because I thought I just paid attention to all the information. Saves me $4 for what he's telling me is the same policy through a different carrier. Okay, just stick with, there you go. Anyway, sales training. I have done sales and training for sales for the last 15 years. I've been in the sales industry for the last 15, 16 years at this point. And I climbed that ladder. And so when I was 23, so what's that? The last 12 years. Called the last 12 years. I'm old. 17 years I was doing this. But the last 12, we'll say I was just a corporate trainer, as they called us, or that was our title we came up with. Sounded official. But my job was sales training, and I don't credit myself with, 85% of this because it is me regurgitating what I've learned through tons of books and tons of, training and tons of seminars and tons of, we used to buy friggin' back in, iPod minis that had pre-programmed, Cheryl Leventon, video or, song, whatever, MP4s in it. With her lectures, I go through, as Grant Cardone would say, eat a book. I go through, not a book a week, unfortunately, but at least, a book a month, which gives me, as he would say, he says 52 weeks advantage. I get a 12-month or 12 times advantage on average person. The average person reads one book a year. If I'm reading 12, that's a 12 to 1 up, right? Take advantage of that. But so sales training, that's something I want to, actually start doing a little sidebar episodes on, or, a lot of value just on its own on the side. But it's something I'm passionate about. And if I'm going to do this, I want to be passionate about these things. So obviously I have business. I have my kids. I'm so happy. I'm usually with them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Anyway, so. But yeah, this is life. Life is great. And just be thankful. That's what I teach my kids. Just be attitude of gratitude. Appreciate the little things, everything. If you're having a bad day, this too shall pass. And, just say thank you. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys for listening. If you're interested in, keep it up. I don't have much else, but there's going to be a lot more to follow. And this is going to be, video as well as, available on all the podcast streams and everything. MyVersionPodcast.com has the latest and greatest. And check out Net Trips if you like to travel. If you don't, then don't waste your time. But tell somebody about it then. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me, I think. So enjoy, take care, God bless, be thankful, and that's all.